Court TV Live, I'm Julia Janae in for Ted Rollins this afternoon. Thanks for following along with us as we watch that testimony in the New Jersey versus Zachary Latham trial, the nasty neighbor stabbing trial. We've been hearing testimony of the victim's son, who was there for the brawl, who was part of the brawl, and at one point charged with aggravated assault as part of it. Let's bring in our guests who have been standing by and watching this with us, who have been analyzing it for us as well. Criminal defense attorney and former public defender Michael Jafar in Dearborn, Michigan, and in New York, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Marie Pereira. Michael, tell us, what do you think about the direct examination of this witness?
So, you know, here's the thing. When I look at this video and when I look at this witness, I mean, he comes off as a really good witness, but my God, they must have had a death wish. I mean, they got into a kid's garage. He was carrying a knife. In his testimony, he said, "I saw the knife," right? So a reasonable person would ask, so you see the kid holding a knife, right? And you were warned, you know, 5 seconds earlier by the other person that, hey, you're not going to like what you see. And he swings at you with the knife, and then you continue and you continue. I can only assume that this kid, he seems like a nice kid, but a troubled kid. He made a humongous mistake, and his family paid for it. His father was killed. But he's coming off as a good witness, but the things that are coming out of his mouth are not helping him. And besides, he didn't sequester himself. He has a criminal history. This is not going good for the prosecution. The defense is going to seize on this kid when it's their turn.
Marie, the knife and the stun gun that this defendant had that could have been seen if you were going up towards him, and also his wife standing there saying, "Back up, back up, back up." If things happened differently, if Durham had killed Zachary Latham, would we see him in court? Do you think he would have been charged, or would he have a claim for self-defense?
I think he would have been charged, and I agree with my co-panelists once again. These are very bad facts for the prosecution. And this witness really, they elicited testimony from their witness on direct examination that proves that there could be a very strong case of self-defense, that the defendant had every right to fear for his life. He gave them warnings. He said, "Stay away." The murder took place inside the garage, which is a part of inside his house. They kept asking, "Did you go into the kitchen?" to try to mitigate the fact that, you know, the death happened in the garage, as if to say the garage was not inside the man's house. The garage is an extension of the house. And the fact that he testified, you know, "I saw my dad with a cut on his arm. We didn't know how bad it was." Those facts work for the defendant as well, because it wasn't an obvious fatal wound. It was a wound under his axilla that ended up piercing his lung. Almost similar to another case we had in Florida, Redlick, where she stabbed her husband and he bled out from the inside. It shows that there wasn't a malicious intent. There wasn't any premeditation. It was an accident during a brawl. That's what that testimony tells me. It's not helping them, but they can't undo the facts. It is what it is. They're doing their best. But I see an acquittal here based on the defense of self-defense.
Tricky case for this jury. You're absolutely right. Danielle Redlick, by the way, was found not guilty by a Florida jury, but they do have different laws there in Florida, especially with stand your ground. Let's get back into the courtroom, listen to more testimony.